8Passengers. No, that was a really bad introduction because this is going to be a clip.
We need a fun segue.
Today, we're talking about child... No? Okay.
Speaking of...
No, you can't. Okay. All right. So yeah, last week we spoke about the 8Passengers. We understand that we didn't have all of the facts. We got the general gist of it, but now we have the facts, and there's been a lot of developments since. People have been talking. Developments have been happening. I mean, you actually know about this topic. So where were we at last week with this?
I think she'd been arrested. Mm-hmm. The kids had been taken away somewhere.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that is actually just the entire story.
Well, this isn't the entire story. So I'm now working on as I said, my 4-hour video, and I think the main, the whole thing of my video is, like, the whole mantra I'm going to go from it is how this whole thing could have been prevented 3 years ago, because this whole situation is, like, it's blowing up now because it's a new development, but this thing has been going on for years. Like, since 2020, I believe, was when they were first in controversy and drama, and back in 2020 pretty much, or 2021, one of those years, the mother was called out for treating her children in what people would perceive to be an abusive way.
Yeah.
And back then, people were like saying, YouTube, why are you allowing this? This family channel is absolutely horrific.
We had quite a few comments on the video saying, oh, that's just how Mormons are. Weren't it? I was like, that's sad.
I don't think I can comment on that because I don't personally...
Because you're not a Mormon.
Yeah, I know. I'm not a Mormon, but also I don't think I can base one person's actions on all the time. Is it religion? It is a religion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I can base someone's actions on one person's actions on like the entire religion. I'm sure we actually have Mormons watching us right now that actually probably think we're pretty sound geezers. So
Fraser takes the M out of Mormon.
What? What the fuck does that?
Fraser takes the M out of Mormon.
What does that fucking mean?
I'm just calling you a moron.
No, fucking. Oh, cheers, mate. I appreciate that. Okay, but you made me lose my train of thought there.
That's all right. I'll pick it back up for you.
Yeah. Oh no, it's okay. I remember it. I was saying not fair to base everyone's actions on one person, but yeah, I was saying that, like, I think that this could have been stopped so long ago, and the fact that this has now happened again is, I feel like there should be some people that feel responsible. I think in this, for one, the police over the years have been warned about this.
Yeah, they've had a lot of chances to go. Look at her.
Yeah,
that's
no,
not right.
Legit. Like how many? Like we said this last week, but I've done like even more research into it because of my video. It's I've been thinking, like, how did this even happen? But also, like, you've had YouTubers with millions of views covering it for years now. Like Jay Aubrey made a video in 2020 which has got like 1 million views. Like other YouTubers,
not even that, just like the videos themselves.
Yeah, they're the major fucking self-reports.
It's not just her being like a strict parent.
Yeah, no. And I think the problem is it comes down to, like, I mentioned this last week, but when YouTubers cover something, it kind of turns it into the drama sphere and stuff, and it's like, I think people take it less seriously, but this is actually really messed up, like horrific, especially now. Like, people are being like, oh, well, it's only just gotten really bad, but it's like, well, how many warnings did you need? Like, well, it's like looking for warning signs in a bad person.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Like there's the whole Russell Brand thing recently, and I've seen people be like, think there was a comedian. I can't remember who the comedian was, but he was saying that he feels like he is what's the word? He feels like he is like responsible because his friend was SA'd, something on those lines, because he knew that his friend did weird things. Not like he hadn't committed a crime yet, but he would show real red flags, and he just never said anything about it when he knew that he probably should have, and then it led to a proper bad thing. And I know it's kind of different, but like in this situation, there's not just red flags, there are recorded evidence of like actual child abuse.
And she is just going, here you go.
Yeah.
The entire internet.
And even in those clips of where it's like, oh, with the parent, the kids, you mentioned this the other week, or the kids say something like, oh, we're being treated horribly. And the mum's like, you shouldn't say that.
The mum's just laughing her off.
And how much of that is there until like YouTube do something about this? Because this is what I don't get. This isn't the first family channel which has been accused of this level of crime. There's been so many now, and I'm like, how many times does this need to happen before somebody's like, oh, maybe we actually need to look into these family channels?
You're just seeing your kids as your business at that point, aren't you? Mm-hmm. And that is fucking absolutely terrifying.
Like, there's a fucking channel of where, I think it was Ace Family one time. It's like not on the same level, of course, but like the kid like fell over or some shit, and like they banged their head on something, and the first thing they thought to do was get the camera out and just shove it in the face.
Yeah.
I was like, mate, like, what the fuck are you doing? Just go put a little bandage on your kid or something.
Yeah.
But hold on, let me get the recent developments up, because that I want to firstly go into that this whole thing could have been prevented, and I'm genuinely shocked that it's only now becoming a bit of a nation.
I actually can't believe they let it get this far.
Yeah, this is it. Like,
it's been years and years.
Yeah, like fucking like if you search Ace Family 2020, Ace Family 2021, there's like a headline each time of like Ruby Franke accused of this, Ruby Franke accused of that, and now obviously it's not really the accused because there is actual full evidence, but there was evidence before.
Do you think there'll be a knock-on effect on other family channels?
There should be, but there won't be. Like, it is a case of like, I don't think YouTube really this is the thing. Everybody likes to be like, oh, YouTube are over policing everything, but I actually think it's the opposite. I don't think YouTube want to police anybody. I think that they just want to have ads, and I think they want to run the site carefree.
But the problem is, because like these channels that have millions of views, if they start policing it, like they're going to lose money, aren't they?
Exactly that. And I think because of that, YouTube, understandably to an extent, are a bit cautious. You know, it is a business at the end of the day, and I think the problem is like we've had things like the adpocalypse where certain bad things have been on YouTube and it has caused advertisers to pull out. So now I think YouTube kind of navigate this very safely. Because in the past they would just outright ignore things. I don't think that this situation is necessarily YouTube's fault. But like, I think the fact that this has gone on for 3 years makes...
No. Yeah, because the thing with them videos is they just walked the line very carefully.
But it's also, YouTube can't just be like, oh, this looks bad, we're going to take it down. Because if there isn't like a case of there's a criminal charge made, it's very difficult to do something like that, because it can become a bit of a libel, defamation sort of thing.
I mean, yeah, what point is that line drawn?
Yeah.
And it's so hard with an open forum where it's video creation.
But now we need to get into the recent developments, because the sister of the 8Passengers mother has recently come out and spoke about this. Bonnie, yeah. Let me just read this article to you all. It goes, the sister of the Utah family vlogger charged with abusing her children is speaking out about the allegations about her sister. Ruby Franke's sister, Bonnie, posted the video response on her own YouTube channel on Monday. It's the first time the public is hearing from a family member who is close to Franke. She says, what my family and I have gone through the last couple of weeks is the worst thing that has ever happened.
Yeah, there was basically a knock-on effect from this, because I think Bonnie put out an Instagram post as well, didn't she?
I think her family have, sorry to interrupt, but I think her family have actually been slowly calling her out over, like...
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure...
Yeah, the post basically said, we didn't do anything because we wanted to be able to sort of control the situation on our own. Yeah. And then... in the video, which we'll later discuss, she says... What
do you think about that? Do you think that's a pretty logical thing to say?
I think so. Like,
I think it is way easier to be like, oh, you should have done this and you should have done that.
Because she said she didn't actually know. She knew something was off about her, but she didn't really know what was going on to the full extent.
I guess it's the problem of like, we know that like there was so much on YouTube, but again, it's like... I think if you take a YouTube video to a police officer and you're like, look at this, the mum's being with the kids, I don't think the police do anything.
Also, it is very hard to take a family member and tell the police about them, isn't it?
It's way easier to sit here and be like, oh, you should have done this, you should have done that about your family member. But at the end of the day, it is a family matter and it is very deep and personal. Like, even if like, it's like, if you have a family member that does something bad, you know that you shouldn't, but like there is still a part of you in your brain which almost emphasizes in a weird way. It's like I think it's that connection through family that you have. It's like, and I think sometimes it can make you do things which like all look past things. And I don't know if they look past things, but I think they probably came at it from a perspective that they wanted to, as you said, control the situation without making it completely explode and blow out of control.
Yeah, because I don't think they knew the full extent of the child abuse.
I don't think anybody did. As I said, yes, there were videos.
Like, we knew they were strict. We knew some of the stuff that they could do in hindsight. Like, I never watched any of the stuff, but looking back, I could look at it and go, that's quite cruel what they were doing to the kids. But it was never at the extent where it was like they're being strapped up with duct tape.
Yeah, I think if you watch the videos about it back in 2020, you would, like me, I've always thought these guys are abusive to their children, but like I didn't actually think it was this bad, like the duct tape and stuff like that, the wounds and the kids basically being malnourished and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't think it was that bad.
And if you think your sister is being a bit cruel to her kids, I'd probably be like, well, I don't agree with that, but it's probably not my place to intervene.
This is the thing as well. It's like... It sounds bad. Like if you see something bad happening, you obviously should be like, you should say something. But it's like if you're walking down the street, right, and you see a mother I don't know, screaming at her kids. Obviously, you know, a mum shouldn't scream at their kids and stuff, but it's like you don't get involved. It's not like you just your mind is automatically it's none of my business. But I guess when you're a family member as well, it's more difficult and stuff. The whole thing is far more complex than it's been presented. Like
it's not. Yeah, like most of these cases are. It's not just like black and white.
Yeah. Which is our background right now, actually.
No, exactly. Well, it's black. There's no white there. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a sofa.
Yeah, but it's still black and white. Okay, let's continue with this thing. The two sisters' families are known for putting their daily lives online. Ruby's sisters and parents are also YouTube content creators. Bonnie has made appearances in her sister's vlogs, and Frank was in hers. And Bonnie has said it was kept behind the scenes for a lot of years. We did not have access to anyone, she said. Now, again, what? Like, look, I know I'm kind of like going between, I'm backtracking and then going back to what I was saying previously, but like, do you think that they definitely didn't know? Or is it, do you reckon they're saving face here, or do you reckon they genuinely just did not know what was going on? Because I don't know, it is hard to believe that they didn't.
What, the entire scale of it?
I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a bit of a dick.
I don't think they did the full extent. I mean, they probably knew there was dodgy shit going on.
Yeah, I get it. It probably does.
But she also does say at one point in the video, connections and my sister and the family have been making my life hell for the past few years.
Okay, then yeah, fair enough. Then if that's the case, then, and she did just say that they didn't have any like access to them. Yeah,
and also they got fully cut off.
Okay. Oh, okay then. Yeah.
So at that point, it's hard to know what's going on.
Yeah. No. Actually, to be fair, then yeah, I take back. If they've been cut off and stuff, again, should probably know that before coming into this. But yeah. So yeah, we'll continue. We'll just put my fucking words in the bin and just ignore everything that I just said.
Just take out the video.
No, I won't take out the video because we're reading the part of it.
Why?
Because I'm reading the part of it. This is a podcast. It's not a YouTube. Well, it is a YouTube video.
Yeah, but if you're fucked up.
I've not fucked up. I'm just going at this. We're doing it live, all right?
You're fucked up.
I've not fucked up.
You're fucked up.
I've not fucked up.
You're fucked up.
We do not have access to anyone, she said. On August the 31st, the police found two of Frank's children in the basement of her business partner, at the one from Connections, emaciated with wounds all over their body. It's so. I know we've already.
I found out more about Connections in the past week, and they are full on a cult. Yeah, it's just a cult.
They're called Mothers of Truth, aren't they? It's fucking obscene. Like, I mean, I was going to say we could go through a few of the clips in a bit after we've gotten through these. There's another article we need to go through, but it is genuinely one of the most mental things. But let's finish this first. But then remind me to go into that after this, because we should speak about that too. So yeah, then it goes, it makes me tremble because it's unheard of, Bonnie says again. And to be fair, yeah, from her words, it does seem that she really did not know about this stuff. She says that when her sisters got involved with the Connections people, she felt that their views were extreme. It was a complete indoctrination. Yeah, basically what you just said, it's basically a cult. Because it was. And it's kind of worrying.
It's like a very modernized cult.
It was like a mum cult, wasn't it? It was really...
It was a parenting cult.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I don't know. The whole thing is just odd. I don't know how, because when you look at when they started the channel, it did seem pretty innocent. There were some good intentions there, and then it just gradually got worse and worse and worse. Okay, then it goes going back to the article. It goes, the person that could have done something within his legal right was Kevin, and we had zero contact with him. It was Kevin's job to check on things, and he did not. Kevin Frank's attorney claims he was following the person from Connections and Ruby's instructions. Kevin was dedicated to his family. He was dedicated to his marriage, and he didn't want to be divorced. He didn't want to be separated from his family, but in an effort to try and save his marriage, she asked him to move out of the home and be away from the family, and basically said, if you want to stay married and you want to patch up our marriage and make things work and help our children, you will stay away.
Yeah. So one thing that was brought up last week, which I do agree with, is we didn't know how bad the dad was, but he is actually...
terrible.
Yeah, he's a terrible human being.
From what I've seen as well, after doing research in my video, it's the whole thing. But this comes under like the thing going back to earlier of like people not knowing and stuff. It's like, it's almost like I'm not trying to be a dick, but it's almost hard to believe that people didn't know to even an extent, because like how terrible both are in this situation. Yeah. Like, and again, how long this has been going on.
Like I don't think his actions were so bad.
The mum seems like the ringleader.
Yeah, but he was like
and
just sort of enabling it.
Yeah, and that's just as bad. Like that is just as
especially like you're the father and you actually know
take some fucking responsibility.
You know the severity of what's going on.
Yeah, like that's your children.
But I think he loved her so much that he was.
It's bullshit. I just sorry to interrupt. I'm not saying that what you're saying. I'm just saying the argument of him saying that he loved her so much.
Right. Yeah.
It's just like. It's just your fucking kids.
No, but I think that is the case of what happened.
Do you really think, or do you reckon that's just not an excuse?
I think he loved that strange woman so much that he was like, yeah, I'll do as you say.
It sounds weird to say, but I feel like, okay, maybe this is controversial. I feel like most parents love their kids more than their partner because probably. That's your baby, you know. And and maybe that's controversial. I think in a lot of situations it is true though, because your love for your children is like an eternal thing. Like it lasts forever. It should last forever.
Yeah.
And a marriage can go sour. You can divorce. You can fall out of love. But your child is traditionally something that you love forever. You know what I mean? Like because you created that, you brought them up. They're in your life forever.
And yeah, you're completely responsible. For them until they're. Old enough.
So when I see something like that, like sure he may have been in love, but it's like fucking hell. Like if you're choosing your wife and that involves allowing her to do the things that she did,
starve your fucking kids.
He's just as bad though. Like it's not her doing it; it's both of them doing it. Because just enabling that behavior means that you are complicit, and by being complicit means you did those things too. You know what I mean? Like if you've kidnapped somebody, right, and I'm living with you, and I know that there's a kidnapped person in our fucking basement or something, I'm also a kidnapper in my opinion because I'm allowing that, I'm complicit in that, and I've seen that happen. And
you're doing nothing about it to stop it.
Yeah.
So I think Bonnie was basically saying that dad should have taken way more responsibility.
Yeah, it kind of seems that he got out, even though it was Ruby Franke that kicked him out pretty much. Like he got out, but then it was like, oh, I'm not a part of this. It was like, no, mate. Like, and maybe we should say sorry for not knowing that. That is quite a big fact that we weren't good with. To be fair.
Not sorry.
Yeah, neither. I'm just saying now we know. Okay. Kester, as in Kevin's attorney, said that Ruby told her husband to move out of the family home during August 2020, and basically he said that Kevin hadn't seen his children for a year and had no idea that they were being mistreated. Bullshit. As I said to you earlier, this goes back to 2020, arguably before. Like they've been making content for years, and people were calling this out years ago. Really, really weird things. And if the thing is, it's like if he then looks at that and says, "Oh well, that's not actually like child abuse," then I think it does show his complicit nature because what happened there was abuse, and he's happy with it.
It's not something she just started doing, is it? It's been there throughout. There's been a pattern of it throughout all of her kids.
Yeah, like she got indoctrinated into connections. She's exploited them for YouTube revenue, and I doubt these kids got any of the revenue either. She's a millionaire, by the way.
One of the kids didn't have a fucking bedroom for 8 months.
Yeah, it's fucking,
or whatever. So I doubt he's going to get any of that
sent
money.
Away, wasn't he? Like
to wilderness camp. I think that's what the dad did.
The wilderness camp thing in America, by the way, like it's on like Dr. Phil. Daniel Brogoli went on Dr. Phil and they sent her to like I think it's called Turnabout Ranch, and on the ranch there was like a murder, there was like tons of abuse allegations and stuff. But this thing of Americans sending their kids to like ranches and stuff in the wilderness is a thing they genuinely believe is a good thing to do because it teaches you to be responsible and learn the ways of the land.
Do you know what it looks like from across the old pond?
Fucking mental.
It looks like they've just gone, I'm not fucking dealing with my kids this summer. It's like,
shove them away.
It's like fuck off to boot camp.
It's you're treating your kid like a dog there almost, aren't you? It's like when you go, you don't have a dog, but like if you go abroad, you have to.
It's like they had a kid and it gets to like 10 or 11 and they go, oh fuck this.
Yeah,
and I'm not doing this anymore.
And you just get sent. Mate, imagine being a kid. Like imagine if we got fucking sent to
you just wouldn't. Would you?
Got sent to the fucking Forest of Dean and like, all right, survive for eight weeks. It's like, well, no.
So, in England, I think kids are a lot more entitled to just go, am I fuck doing that?
I think maybe it's just because we're British and maybe we have the bias, but I think British kids would rebel. I feel like if my dad said that to me, I'm just like, well, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not fucking doing it.
Yeah, and you go, and also I stole another 40 quid. So fuck you.
Nobody, unless you watched last week's episode, nobody's going to understand that reference.
Fraser used to nick money from his dad.
When I was like 10, I should clarify. Yeah. And I used to buy Pokemon cards for the money. We'll go back to it. Now we've established that the dad is also a dick. Yeah. It goes... The attorney says Kevin was dedicated to his family. He was dedicated to his marriage. Oh, no, sorry, I've read that already. He basically says that didn't know what was going on. He thought he was doing what was best based on his observations of the children and the marital situation. His attorney said he thought he was doing what was the best, at their direction to make things better, and he was hoping there would be a reconciliation. How do you say that word? Reconciliation?
Well, I don't know what the word is because you're reading it. Reconciliation.
There we go. I'm sorry about that. So it does kind of. Your theory is right, but I'm saying the excuse is bullshit. Of he was in love with her and he wanted to save his marriage. Mate, save your kids, not their fucking wife who's absolutely insane and probably going to go to jail.
Yeah, he just had to take a lot more responsibility.
Yeah,
keep your fucking kids safe.
Yeah, it just seems like he's being a complete pussy because he is a complete pussy. He was berated, belittled, and torn down by Jodie, and constantly being told he was selfish and greedy, and he needed to repent. And in that respect, in order to psychologically comfort with her direction, they're just repeating the exact same words, and it just seems that he's being like, oh yeah, he needed to get away, and that's why he wasn't around to observe what was going on, which just seems like complete and utter bollocks.
Yeah.
This article isn't mainly about the sister at all, but yeah, she did put out a statement, and it was just, yeah.
Well, from the sister's point of view, obviously, it blew up the entire topic, didn't it? Like a lot of it's got. Nice. So thanks. So I think a few people did basically say, well, I think Bonnie, you should have taken more responsibility for that. But I don't think she was involved enough to have that as a fair criticism of her, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't really know, because you're never really going to know the truth of how much she truly did know. But then it comes down to, well, if we knew for years, why would she not know? I think there seems to be a lot of weird things going on with that family, and I think now it's becoming such a major story in just the mainstream news. I think a lot of people are very desperate to kind of put themselves away from a distance.
But also, she had a family YouTube channel as well, Bonnie did. Yeah. So her threshold of what she probably counts as child abuse might even be a lot.
Family channels is fucking awful. They just need to get rid of the genre.
Yeah, because to us, to me, that's already, a child abuse having a family account.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say having a family account is child abuse, but like it definitely gets in.
But it can get abusive.
A lot of the time it seems to get in that stage, but there is also a oh god, I'm getting sleepy. This hangover is really kicking in right now. There is another there's another thing here, which basically the cousin of Ruby Franke came out just saying that the whole thing isn't shocking, but it is disgusting. And it's like, if it isn't shocking, again, like why would you not say anything in the first place? And again, we can say what we said earlier of like, oh well, it's you could say they thought it wasn't their business, but it just seems that this is all very weird. It seems that I feel like people did know a bit more than they're letting on.
It's hard to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it seems like Ruby did put an effort to cut off the family.
Yeah. But why was that? That's the why we. Why did?
But it doesn't matter if you cut them off too much, because you might as well be living with her if you watch her YouTube videos, because she fucking films it all and puts it on there.
Yeah.
So
no, that's basically most of the updates now, and it's kind of going to like a court proceeding and stuff.
I think it's gonna drag on quite a while.
Yeah, it does seem to be going on for quite a while, and I do hope that there's like some form of justice. I just don't ever think there will be, but maybe there will in this case, because this is quite different. This is really serious and stuff.
Yeah.
And it kind of looks like she might be fucked.
Yeah. I think the kids are definitely going to be not in her vicinity for a long time.
Yeah, hopefully never again, really.
Well, yeah, I think hopefully they get taken,
because those kids
care.
will grow up and they'll see everything. But I can't imagine how horrific that would be to grow up and just see how your life has just been plastered over everything, and that just probably will be absolutely terrible when they get to like 18 years old and they're like, oh my god, that was how bad it was, and it's publicly available for millions of people.
Yeah, well, hopefully the internet ceases to exist by then.
Yeah, hopefully,
for their sake.
I was going to go through the videos of connections, but honestly, I it's not really much we can say other than like maybe in another episode. I am really too tired to like react to something.
Connections feels a bit like you're playing a Far Cry game.
Yeah. It's just fucking weird. It's just a cult, and I'll go through it in my video. Don't worry if you're a bit disappointed with like not going through everything. In the video, we will be covering absolutely everything.
He's got 4 hours to kill. I'm surprised you're not just going to be rating your own farts at one point.
I do need a poo actually, so I'm going to take a break in a second. But have you got anything else final to say on this?
No.
Right.
No. My final thoughts are: I hope the kids are safe. I hope the mother is having a bad time. And I hope the viewers at home are chill.
And please let us know your thoughts down below. All right, we're going to take a break right now. Literally 2 minutes. So I just need to go to the toilet.
Have a nice poo, mate.
Thanks, mate.